So how do you manage all of the stressors that come with competitions?
I don't. I stress.
Hey guys, I'm Alexis and this is Danielle.
Hello.
We're here on behalf of Ballroom Dance is My Sport. Today we're doing a really awesome interview for you guys. So would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure, go ahead.
Sure. I'm Stella Snitko. I'm Valerie's mom. She's a dancer now, a junior dancer in NDCA, WDC, in all competitions that we go to.
And my name is Andrei. I'm Valerie's dad.
Okay, perfect. So why did you guys decide to start Valerie in ballroom?
So we grew up in Ukraine. Both of us danced a little. I think I danced a little more than Andrei, but it was part of the school curriculum. It was part of the culture, So when we came here, I always knew I wanted my kids to dance, just because I thought that it's a cool thing to do and glamorous, and especially for the girl, it's something that is enjoyable as well. So I couldn't wait until she turned the age to actually find the place to go and signed her up for dancing.
Very nice. That's very cool. So when did you think and when did you get the feeling that ballroom was something that she would want to stick with for the rest of her life, and that she was in love with it?
Well, she's only 10 right now, so she enjoys it a lot, and she loves to be in the studio and the kids and the friends and doing the dancing and especially performing. She loves competition, so she can't wait to until there was a break in competition. She could wait. She was getting an opportunity to dance again, so it's definitely something that she really enjoys, whether it's definitely, I feel like the experiences will be with her for the rest of her life, but whether she's going to be doing it for the rest of her life, it's totally up to her. But she's definitely 24/7, watching videos and Instagram and following everyone, and off the floor and on the floor.
Yeah, and that's very nice part, that we're not making her dance. She really likes it. I mean, with all the lessons that she has, with all the practices and competitions and traveling, she really enjoys it. Not that we're making her go and do that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Speaking of competitions, do you remember Valerie's first competition?
Yes, so it was, so she started dancing when she was almost 5. She was supposed to turn 5 in March, and she started dancing in September before that year. And she went to the competition in February of the following year. All Stars, I think it's called. I mean, it's very, I'm not sure if you guys know, but it's like a junior all-day competition where you have no costume restrictions, where it's fun for kids and everything. And you can dance in whatever you want. So she was ecstatic, and it was a year after she started dancing. So she was doing under 6 categories. It's one of the competitions where there is a teddy bear categories. So she was all over that, and I think she danced in millions of different single dances, and I think she even danced in under the following category, and we couldn't get her off the floor.
So what did you learn from her first competition as a parent?
From the first competition, I was still trying to learn how things work and everything. So my first competition, I don't even honestly remember myself at the competition. I remember some parts of her dancing, but I was so nervous and so overwhelmed by everything that was happening that I don't think I had any lessons learned or anything. But as years obviously have gone, and she's been dancing for the next 4 years, that's a huge learning curve, I think, for parents on what to expect at the competitions, and what to do at the competitions, and all these things. But I think one of the things I did learn is how stressful and how nervous I was, so I couldn't even imagine.
And you still,
And
most
still,
of the
exactly,
competitions.
yeah. So that's why, I rarely go to any of the competitions. I just watch and get nervous at home, and go crazy. But Andrei usually takes her everywhere.
So when you guys when you do go to the competitions, what is your favorite part? Although, we understand that it's nerve-wracking for the parents and everything, but what do you enjoy the most?
Well, I enjoy their dancing. I mean, when they're on the floor, it's exhilarating, and that's what we're working for, and that's what they work for and train for. And when they go on the floor, get on the floor, and express their feelings, their emotions in a dance, then when it's the most satisfying, I would say.
I really like the atmosphere too, like I enjoy going to the evening sessions. I enjoy, watching other dancers, talking to other parents, them socializing with other kids. Like, I think it's a community, and I really like that, you go, you stay in the same hotel, and it's the same theme that, pretty much unites everyone who's there, in the competition. Like, to me, it's an amazing experience. Like, the whole competition is an amazing experience, especially as you go like further up and know more people and understand more about, the business and what's happening, and, who's where. And it's more and more friends and more people that every time you go, and it becomes even more satisfying experience outside of being judged and actually dance and rushing for heats and dealing with the changing and the all that stuff. But what I really enjoy about the competition is the after. I'm like looking through the videos, looking through the pictures, like still, like they just went to Miami, and it's like this whole week I'm like rewatching and reliving the experience, which is, I think is just amazing.
So speaking of competitions and all of the chaos that happens at competitions, do you have a special routine that you guys have for Valerie that's kind of set up that you do with her at competitions?
Yes. So, well, I guess you probably know more. To me, I think it's for sure enough sleep. So I try to make sure that everything is scheduled, like her hair, her makeup, her warm up, so that it allows her, adequate sleep. And if it's very early in the morning, like they are the best in the evening times. That's when they train usually, that's when they perform best. Morning hours is tougher. So if they don't get enough sleep, they're not performing well, and they know that, and they hate it, and then they're upset. So to me, that's, enough sleep, for sure. And then definitely appropriate food and lots of hydration. Because the cramping and all these things, and the heels and doing the makeups, and you just forget to drink, and then it turns into problem when you come to the floor, and then she's like, oh, I need to drink, I need to, and there's nothing, and then so for sure. But I don't know if Andrei has anything, because he's been doing a lot more competitions than me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the sleep is the most important. The good thing is that we now went to the junior category, and most of the hits for the juniors are during the day or in the evening, versus before for the preteens it was morning most of the time, and that's when we had bigger issues. Now it's during the day or towards the evening, so it's much easier to schedule the time, enough time for sleep, enough time to go get breakfast or lunch. And of course, I mean, the preparation with the hair, makeup,
warm up. Yeah, it was also like, if it's really early in the morning where you have to dance standard and you have to like warm up at 7 o'clock in the morning, for the kids, it was challenging, to motivate them to do that. But I mean, they've already experienced enough to understand that like we're not just saying it. So they're already in the mode of doing it themselves. They're like little pros already by now, like have their routine down.
Right.
But it was hard in the beginning, like when they were smaller, younger. It was harder because you would have to like wake them up and say, oh, you have to go warm up, oh, but I want to sleep, but I want a breakfast, I want to and and no, you have to warm up. That was hard, but now it's a little bit easier. But you have to, otherwise it's kind of pointless, if you don't do the routine, if you don't do that, you come out on the floor and you don't show what you're really working for really hard in the studio, and then everyone's disappointed, including them, because they know as well, like they would come off the floor crying, and like because they didn't show what they wanted to show, but it wasn't because they couldn't, it was because they didn't warm up or didn't have enough sleep or didn't have enough drink or ate something heavy or whatever. So
and how do you handle the stress? So there's obviously stress within yourself as a parent, but also you have to manage Valerie's stress. So how do you manage all of the stressors that come with competitions?
I stress. I just do.
Yeah.
That's why I try. If you have any suggestions, I'm still figuring it out. But Valerie is always like, she prefers him to go because we're like on the same wavelengths. Like if I start stressing out, then she starts stressing out, and it's a snowball, and then she like, he's very calm, and he actually goes to enjoy. I enjoy the preparation process, the training process, like I love to be in the studio when they train. Like I bring my laptop, I work from there, so to me, I enjoy everything that's coming up to the competition, and then he's much better with the actual competition.
Yeah. Plus I have a lot of stuff that I can do during the time when they
like
compete,
he
and I'm
takes
taking pictures,
and
videos, yes,
and
prepare, making sure they have stuff to drink, they have prepared, they warming up, they're ready for hits. So yeah,
I do go from time to time, and she's becoming more independent in her routines, so it's easier for her not to be that affected by me. But I do stress a lot, that everything has to be perfect, everything has to be done on time, everything, and it's I don't have a good management system yet.
Yeah.
Yet, that's right.
Do you think that the whole ballroom dancing industry has changed any of her behaviors as compared to like some of her friends who may not ballroom dance? Is there any differences that you see or that you're maybe expecting?
So this year was pretty unique. Actually, I was thinking, about this the other day, and so we made the decision this year to have her in virtual academy, just because we didn't want the situation, like we kind of predicted that the situation with schools will be on and off, the hybrid, the virtual, the I don't know what. So we made a decision not to be dependent on that for this year, and just sign her up to the virtual academy that's separate from from the school. And we're really liking it so far. But I think all the kids are changing, this year. So because of the COVID and because of the, how it's happening. But I would say from last year's experience, where we had to like travel internationally and nationally, all over, and she was in school, and it wasn't changing her, but it was hard to manage, even for me, the relationships with teachers, with explaining that how the priorities work. And even if she was all A student and was acing on all her knowledge at school, it was still hard to convince, you know, the teachers and the students, because everyone else is there, you know, every day in school, you know. So why would she need to be an exception, even if she? So it was a little bit of that that she felt and was a little bit, you know, talking about. But you know, it's still, I don't think it changed her, or I think it's just part of the process, you know, for anyone who's doing competitive sport, you know, not necessarily dance, you know, you would have to balance and juggle the school and the you know, relationships and the competitive and travel and all these things.
Yeah, but going back to the question, I mean, it's I don't think that she noticed the change with the situation as much as other kids, because she still continues to go to the practice a lot, and she actually spends time with her friends pretty much as she did before the situation. So it's for her and for the kids that training with her, it's actually wasn't that stressful. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like Valerie's really busy between competitions and online school and training and all of that. Does she have any free time outside of all of those things?
I think so. Well, I think yes. I mean, it's with virtual academy, it's a little bit more time, because she can schedule around her, like her she's on her own schedule basically, you know, and she can schedule her learning and her practices and her travel herself. When you're in school, it's harder, but I mean, it was still there, you know, like they still go like with her partner, like on Sunday they came back, went to the, I don't know if you have that altitude. It's like a trampoline place.
Oh yeah.
So they spend like, you know, 3 hours there, and they're going skating, you know, this weekend. So I mean, we still try to get them to do things outside of dance and competing and school.
Does she have any sort of hobbies or anything that she likes to do outside of ballroom that, you know, maybe she spends a amount of time on?
She loves art, so she was doing that a little bit. She learns Spanish right now, and she wants to add French to her vocabulary. So she's into languages a lot. So she does that. Also virtual. I mean, right now I feel like, you know, the whole world opened up with Zoom, and everyone, you can really enjoy doing a lot of stuff online, you know. So yeah, so last year she was doing a lot of art, and this year she's zooming with Spanish. I haven't found her a French teacher yet, but that's, you know.
Yeah, and of course, as any other kids, a lot of time on the phone and
Yes.
the roadblocks and, you know,
Oh
other
my
stuff.
God,
So
yes.
not different from, I would
Yeah.
say, any other kid of her age.
Yeah.
For sure.
Of course. Okay, going back a little bit into the whole COVID-19 pandemic, how has that specifically impacted her training with ballroom?
So we were very lucky. It really didn't much. I mean, the first couple, so we were in Utah when the lockdown happened. So for nationals.
Right. Yeah. Right during
So
the nationals,
like during nationals, so everything locked down. We came home, and first couple of weeks were like, we were trying, like studios closed, everything closed, but you know, we did reach out to our coach after a couple of weeks, and she was also you know, nice enough to give us the keys to the studio. So they were practicing, and then she would come out as well and teach them, you know, like 6 feet apart and masks on and everything. You know, whoever wanted to, there were no groups, but they were doing rounds themselves. And so we really had access to the studio, so they really didn't miss much out from training perspective. But from competing perspective, you know, there were huge plans, you know, to go to Blackpool and, you know, go to WC Worlds and, you know, and that, and they, so Kirill actually aged out this year out of preteens. So they pretty much lost their whole year of preteens, you know, like their strongest year of preteens, and had to just jump into junior because of that. So, I mean, there's good and bad in that. Like we had a lot of time to prep for, you know, for going into junior, and, you know, we made the decision early enough to say, okay, we're not getting anything out of this preteen career, you know, any longer, because everything's going to be closed. So we might as well just start junior. So, you know, when they came out in January, you know, in the competition, or was it January, or like
first competition, we went to Ohio, to Cleveland or Columbus.
Yeah,
Columbus.
It was before
August.
Was it? Oh, see, I don't even. Yeah. Anyway, so in August they were already, you know, competing as juniors. So I mean, it was whatever it was, but you know, but it was already, you know, junior program and everything. So I don't feel that outside of me regretting, you know, the lost preteen year, you know, that we were like really heavily preparing for in Blackpool. I don't think they lost anything from training perspective.
That's good.
Were they able to compete in Utah? Because I know that they had the nationals at 1 a.m.
Yes.
Did they dance?
Yes, till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
3 o'clock in the morning.
I was
Yes.
watching that.
They competed till 3 a.m.
I was tired myself. I can't imagine.
Yes.
But that's a good finale for them in preteen, dancing until 3 o'clock in the
There
morning.
you go.
Yes, for sure. It was worldwide,
Oh, yes.
for sure.
Sure.
I was there actually for that. I was, you know, out of all the competitions, he wasn't there. I was there.
Very nice. Awesome. So to kind of start to wrap this up a little bit, what would be your best advice to the parents of kids who are just starting out in ballroom dancing?
Well, I guess from my perspective, I would say decide what you want to get out of the ballroom dancing, right? Because there is a lot of people who just want their kids to be fit, to know how to move, how to dance, and that's fine. I mean, there is plenty of studios around that will help you do that, right? That will help your kids to get maybe organized, discipline, and stuff like that. But if you want to get something more professional out of it, right? I mean, not necessarily for the kids to become professional, but go to the competitions and get some meaningful results from the competitions, then you need to find a good studio with good coaches. So look at the coaches' resumes, at the resumes of the kids that those coaches prepared, so that you know that those coaches can actually get you to the stuff that you want.
Yes, for sure. I agree 100%. You know, you have to go. I mean, we went to around pretty much everywhere to just see, even though they were going to the studio. And we were very lucky with our coach in our studio that Nina was very open to us, just us for
Nina
hours.
Estrina, brilliant studio.
Brilliant studio. You know, that she was very open for us to get educated. Like it was more for us to get education. You know, we went to a lot of coaches, you know, on the East Coast and also, you know, some of the West Coast as well, to just see, you know, what they do, how they do with kids, what they prepare, how they, you know, what's different, where we want it, just because we at some point thought that and decided that we want to be in it and, you know, go internationally and you know, try to get somewhere. So I think it's very important to just see what's out there and not just stick to, you know, to something that's given to you, but educate yourself with options and what's around and what's happening, and then commit to whatever
Well, if you
that
decide
you
to commit.
choose.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you
Yeah,
decide
if
to
you
commit,
decide to
that is
commit,
very
then commit to whatever based on your education that you've gone through, and not just expect that you go to whatever for studio and you're gonna get whatever you want to get to, so.
Okay, that concludes all the questions that we have for you. Is there anything else that you'd like to add for all the parents out there of ballroom dancers?
No, I think it's I really think it's a little bit underrated in US, so I really encourage everyone to try and see. It's an amazing world for kids to be in, and it's competitive, it's artistic, it's musical, it's everything, for boys and girls. We just can speak in good words about it, for the growth and development of the kids. It's just amazing. It's everything. It's arts and sport and everything in one, so you can't beat that.
Plus, right, they making friends all over the world, traveling to different competitions, and the travel itself, seeing other states, cities, countries. I mean, it's amazing as well. I mean, that's a little bit different level, but still, it's
if you get those opportunities, it's amazing.
Yes, that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, that should be everything. We really appreciate your guys' input, and we hope that everyone listening and watching can take benefit from this. And we definitely enjoyed it quite a bit. So thank you guys so much for doing that. Appreciate that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you
for
guys.
inviting us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.